if you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume that you are struggling to get some of the work that you need to get done, actually get it done. And I have a 6-step process on going all in, which will help you get the work done, but we will get to that later. As always, problem first. The problem is not that people don't believe they need to improve themselves. There's been a drastic increase in people actually setting the intention to improve. You know, a lot of the time it happens at New Year. We get to New Year, everyone sets themselves some New Year's resolutions, but by the end of January, they've all gone out the window. It's not the goals. It's not the fact that they aren't setting goals to improve. It's that their improvements they're trying to make are too small. Now, what I mean by that is, say we were looking to improve our financial status. We wanted to make some more money. A lot of people will set the intention to maybe just increase their income by a small amount, like maybe like £100 a month, £200 a month, because they think they don't want to make it too big because that will scare them off, and they're absolutely right in that fact. But the fact of the matter is, the gap between whatever amount of money you make, so if it's, say you make £1,000 a month and you want to increase your income by £100 a month, that gap isn't big enough to motivate you, to entirely motivate you to go out and work hard to make that extra money every month. Because most people could probably survive without the extra £100 a month. And so if it's not literally imperative to make that money, they're just not going to. Because it's a lot more comfortable to just stay at where they are, just swallow the pill that they're not going to have the extra £100 a month, than go through the pain of working harder to only make such a small amount. And so the problem is that we're not setting ambitious goals. We are setting goals, but we're not setting ambitious goals. And so to overcome this, we just need to, when we're going to set some goals for whatever we want to achieve, we need to make them ambitious. And this is not a hard task to do, it really isn't. So when I was starting self-improvement, I was starting to improve my discipline. I knew in myself that I just don't go through on a lot of things. And so I needed to find something that I could start, something I could do that would make sure that I just do the hard stuff even when I don't want to do it. I thought self-improvement is perfect, right? So I set the intention to take a cold shower every day. And that was it. That was all I was going to do. That was all I was going to change. That was one of my biggest mistakes, because I carried on eating loads of junk food. I carried on playing video games. I carried on watching YouTube, watching TV. And so for the first few days, I did manage. I was going through, I was taking the cold showers for maybe the first day, maybe the second day. I think I probably got to my third day. Day 3 seems to be the point that I fall off a lot, when I was at the start of my journey with everything. So I did the third day, and it came to the 4th day, and I woke up, was a bit more tired though, so I didn't really feel like doing it. So I was like, I'll do it when I get back from school, that old chestnut. And I got back from school and I didn't do it. Do you know why? Because in my mind, I'm like, I'll do it after I finish this video I started when I sat down. Then it was like, I've already got the dopamine hit from the video, and then I'm seeking the next dopamine hit, but it's a lot easier to just go in my fridge and grab some chocolate than it is to go take a cold shower. It's a lot less painful. So that's what I did, and then my disciplined habit of taking a cold shower every day stopped. I no longer was taking these showers. Wasn't taking them at all. And so I just slipped back into doing nothing. And that's how I returned to exactly what I was doing before. I would have benefited so much from setting myself a much, much larger goal. Something along the lines of what I'm doing now, because what I'm doing now is benefiting me way more than just trying to improve a very small amount. What I'm doing now is I've got a lot more parameters to abide by, a lot more things that I'm trying to get rid of completely. And in that sense, it's like I'm going all in. Because for me personally, now this is not an attack on any of you. Again, this is me talking to my old self, and if you can relate, you're just like me when I was younger, and I'd advise you to listen in if that is the case. For me, it feels like if I'm not going in 100%, if it's not all in, then there's no point in even trying, because every time I try and do little bits, I always fail. When I was trying to improve my grades, I thought maybe if I study an extra 30 minutes a day, or I study an extra hour a week, just for the first couple of weeks, I do that extra 30 minutes. That happened maybe 3 days. And then that was it was gone. And I just stopped studying again, and my grades stayed the same. They didn't improve. With fitness, I thought, actually, well, that one doesn't apply. That was the one thing I did manage to stay consistent in for a very long time. But there are so many other things where it was like, I set the intention, and the goal was maybe to just improve a little bit or reduce it by just a little bit. Like my screen time, that was another big one. I had a really bad screen time. It got to the point where one day I think I had 16 hours, and that is so bad. Like, I didn't even realize it was getting that bad until I actually checked. Like, we had an assembly in school about screen time, and I thought, oh, I'll just check. And I knew it wasn't going to be great. I thought maybe 9 hours, because that's pretty bad going in general. But no, I had managed 16 hours in one day. That meant apart from the hours I slept, I was basically just on my phone all day. And the worst bit I can think of is that day was a school day. So I genuinely don't understand like how I was on my phone all the way through school, but it was a bad day. So from that day, I was like, I need to improve my screen time. I need to get it down. I was like, I'll just try getting it. My average screen time was about 11 hours. That was just a one-off, one really bad day. So I was like, I'll try and get down to 9 hours. So I downloaded the app Opal, which just helps you block out certain apps, apps I was using a lot, to try and reduce the time I was on my phone. And for the first couple of days, I was seeing some decent progress. I was like, okay, cool. It was down from yesterday. Okay, cool. It's still like around that 9 hour mark I'm going for. Day 3, it's a little bit higher than it was the last 2 days, but it's still below the 11 hours. So I kind of let myself have that day as a successful day. And then day 4, it's like 12 hours. Day 5, it's like 12 and a half hours. Day 6, it's like 11 and a half hours. And then I just let myself go again. My goal wasn't ambitious enough. There wasn't a large enough gap between my current screen time and like a goal screen time. And so throughout all of these tryings and failings, I've realized that when I set goals for myself, it's got to be with this all or nothing mentality. Without it, I just don't succeed. And since I've started, I've experienced a lot of benefits from this. Like, the way I'm currently going about my goals to achieve success with this channel is to study at least an hour every day. And I know for a lot of you that might seem easy. That might just seem like what you were doing, I don't know, maybe last year. But for me, doing work every day was something that I often just never really did. Especially when I was first doing YouTube, I would kind of just, maybe once every 3 days, I'd be like, oh, I should post a video today because I haven't posted one in a few days. And I just record a quick little 5-6 minute video, and there was no scripting behind it. So it was just a lot of waffle, slightly to the point. And hey, if I am still waffling, let me know and I'll try and improve that. Just comment that down in the comments and I'll see to improve it. But yeah, now I've set the intention, I work every day. And for me, that's ambitious. That's something I was before I started, I was slightly skeptical if I could manage. Turns out, hey, I'm managing quite okay so far. Today's day 4 of this new habit tracker, schedule, whatever you want to call it. It's going well. Sometimes I slip up and I don't exactly do everything the moment I wake up when I intend to. But by the end of the day, by the time I go to bed, everything I'm intended to do is done. And so with this all or nothing mentality, I'm actually getting everything done. So in the long term, way more work is getting done. I have a lot more respect for myself because of this. And things are looking better, a lot better. And you've clicked on this video, so I'm going to assume that you also want to make sure that your life is much better, just as I have made mine with this mentality. And so it's time for my 6th step, I think it is, process. Number 1, as always, is the mindset. I need you to understand that what I've said about these types of goals, needing them to be ambitious, is true. Try it for yourself. If you don't believe me, please go and experiment in your own life. You don't have to believe me. I literally am just an 18-year-old kid on this platform giving out advice based on my experience, which could genuinely be different from yours. So please do experiment with your life. And you can even come back and report your findings down in my comments. I would love to hear about them. But I did this myself, and the small goals don't help me. So I made sure that I understood that every time I went in to set my next goals. So that being said, I need you to understand that small goals don't really work as well as big goals, not ambitious goals. So the trick is that they're not too small. The difference between where you are now and achieving the goal is so unnecessarily minor that you're not going to even bother trying to get there, because you're perfectly okay not going through the pain of working harder to achieve an extra £100 a month, £50 a month, because you can live basically the same lifestyle you are now without going through the pain to get there. And you don't want the goals to be so big that you're going to look at that and go, that's so painful. Try and say you earn £1,000 a month. You're like, I'm going to earn £100,000 a month. I'm going to 100x my income in like a year. You're going to look at that and you're going to go, that's way too big for me. And you just won't even start, because you'll be thinking, right, I'm going to fail regardless of how hard I try. So you just won't start to avoid that pain of failing. So you need to find the sweet spot where it's not easy, it's not unrealistic, but it is ambitious. And that's the mindset part. And if you don't believe me, like I just said before, please go and experiment with your own life. If you want to increase your bench press, set the intention to improve it by, I don't know, like 5 kg. What that maybe takes a week, 2 weeks max of just max bench tries. You probably will do it, but then you'll realise that's not much of a change, really, is it? It's a bad example because that's how most of us do it in the gym. Money, let's just go back to money. If you want to improve your income, just set the intention to improve by £100 a month, $100 a month, €100 a month, whatever it is for you. You just won't try that hard because it's not going to change much for you. But if you do, you go by that. You go by what works for you. This is what works for me. And if you're like me, just listen. Just try it yourself. And until you understand that big goals are better, I don't want you to move on. I need you to understand this. Ambitious goals will always make sure that you beat out little itty bitty goals, because there's just such a large gap that you have to change yourself in order to achieve them. And it lights a fire under your arse, and it gets you moving, it gets you pushing, and it gets you moving towards your goals. Laptop. So you want to pick this goal now, right? You understand. If you're here, you have to make a promise to me that you understand that big goals, ambitious goals, are better than small goals. You make that promise? You sure? You ready to move on? Okay, cool. Right, now you've got to pick this ambitious goal. Look to a part of your life you want to improve. What part of your life, if improved, would make the biggest benefit on your life. If that's fitness, whether it could be money, maybe relationships and love, getting a girlfriend, anything really. I think for most guys, if you can't decide, but you know that you want to improve, fitness is a absolute cornerstone. And that is probably the first one you should really go to. If you're really looking to work inwardly though, mental health is like, I think that's an even better one than fitness, because it's everything we do always runs through our mind up here. So we've got to make sure that this is in tip-top shape. So if you really can't decide, I'd go for mental health or fitness. And in a way, mental health that's all part of well-being. So you pick something, you've picked your area, now you've got to pick that goal. This is all part of step 2. If it's fitness, maybe you know that you want to bulk up. And say you're at 160 pounds. We'll use me as the example. I think I'm about, I'm trying to do the maths really quickly. I think I'm at 170 pounds. Now, I have a goal to increase by 15 pounds. And usually you look for a £1 a week increase in weight when you're trying to bulk. If you're just trying to do like a steady bulk, nothing like crazy fast, which is 15 weeks, which is about 4.5 months. So I've set to try and achieve this goal within 3.5 months, because it's realistic and it can be done, but it's going to take a lot more of me than it would to say if I said I could have 6 months to do it. So I'm pushing myself. I know I can. I know I probably could achieve it, but there are some days when I think, will I achieve it though? And those kind of thoughts mean that you've just breached right into the ambitious zone. If you think you might be able to achieve it, but you're not quite sure, you're in the right ambitious zone. And you can easily overcome these self-doubts with just a little bit of discipline and just a little bit of reassurance that you're doing everything that you can, as long as you are, and you'll believe that you can eventually get there because you're following the right process. Now what you need to do, you've got your goal, you've got the right mindset, eliminate as many disadvantages. I'm going to call them crabs. I know a lot of us in this space call people that pull you down crabs. That's by all means, if you have bad influences like friends that just aren't really your friends, they make fun of you whenever you try and improve yourself, they just laugh at you because they're like, this is so cringe. Those type of people aren't beneficial. If you can, and you still have those type of people, and you're ready to finally face the fact that you've got to get them out of your life, do it. Get rid of all those types of people. They're not good for you. But when I talk about crabs as well, I'm going to talk about bad habits that will also pull you down just as much as bad friends. Stuff like video games, the really bad site that we all know of, junk food. I don't know why I struggle to name these when it comes to it, because it's like, I watch videos on them so I should know, but those 3. And the other bad stuff, scrolling is so bad. That one's one of the worst because that decreases your attention span. Another video about attention span could be done later. If you want to see that video, just comment it down below and I will look to making one on that. So yeah, all of these are going to keep you from achieving your goals. The more of them you do, the less likely it is you're going to achieve your goals, because it's a lot easier to get a dopamine hit from eating a pack of crisps and a chocolate bar than it is from achieving your goal of 185 pounds, because there's a lot less pain involved in eating those chocolate and crisps than there is in going to the gym every day or exercising every day and eating the right amount of calories every day. So if you don't have those in your life, then the only way to get these dopamine hits is in the long run, which is by doing the good stuff, the good habits we need to be doing every single day so we can achieve our goals. The 4th step, now this is to eliminate free time. A lot of us might like to think that free time is good. You think, oh, it means I've got nothing to do, so I can do a lot of good stuff in this time. You're right, but then again, you're also wrong. Free time is an absolute cancer. I can tell you this from personal experience. Every time, right, so when I went to school and I was doing my A-levels, we used to have these periods where we wouldn't have any lessons. I would always look to them as like, this is like a godsend. I can do whatever I want. I can study whatever needs to be studied, get homework done. Because I didn't personally structure this, it just, I never got anything real done. I would sometimes do homework, but then a lot of the time, because there was nothing scheduled for me to be doing in that time, I just end up on random sites like GeoGuessr and Sporkle, which is just a site that has loads of different quizzes, and I do like the Wordle and just messing around on games that weren't going to help me achieve better grades. Try it for yourself. Just set aside, next time you have nothing to do, don't schedule anything. See what you end up doing. For me, it just ends up being scrolling, random games, just nothing useful. And that's why I say that free time is a cancer. So look for good habits that are going to push you towards achieving this goal to put into this free time. Pick 3 to 6. Those are numbers, and I counted right today. 3 to 6 habits that you want to achieve every single day that push you towards your goal. I have 6 that are up on the wall and a habit tracker over there. 3 I got from an Iman Gadzhi video, which he said just use these 3 and then pick 2 to 3 more of your own. So from Iman Gadzhi himself, meditate 15 minutes, exercise 30 minutes, no weed or alcohol. My personal 3, work an hour every day, drink 2 liters plus water every day, because sometimes I struggled with drinking water. So now this on a habit tracker, and then no porn or masturbation. I have kept true to those because I'm going all in, and though they are ambitious, sometimes I wonder if I can complete them every single day. So they're ambitious, but then I've got evidence to prove that I can. I've got 3 days of just tick, 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 tick across all 6. And that evidence is going to build up because I'm going to keep going. So I've chose those to, anytime that, if there's free time, I can just work some more. If there's free time, I can meditate some more. If there's free time, I can go get a glass of water. I can, I probably already said meditate, didn't I? I can exercise some more. There's even stuff that isn't on my habit tracker I can do. I could read a book, a journal, all this good stuff, right? There's so much stuff. Just find good stuff. 6 habits you reckon are going to improve you so that you get closer to this goal. Fill your free time with them, but make sure you're doing them every day. They're going to, for me, they're non-negotiables, which means if they're not, they have to be done every day. Like, no matter how I'm feeling, they get done. So you get the idea. Pick 3 to 6 of your own, do them every day. Any free time, schedule something in for it. If you realize you have an hour free between your lunch and your next time you're doing some work, go, I'm going to read for an hour. Just don't change it. Just pick something good to do. It doesn't have to be reading. Could be whatever you want to do. That's a good thing. That's going to help you towards your goal. Just make sure there's no, because if you leave that hour free, you know as much as I know that you'll probably end up just scrolling or doing something you didn't want to do because it's not good for you. So, no free time. The final step, and I have spoken, I've literally even got a video on this. It's taking action. You just got to take that action. I would put a link to that video in like a time card somewhere here, but then that would just entice you to watch that video and then you won't take action, so I won't. I'm doing this for the benefit of you. Because you know, if I put that time card up, then that would benefit me. But right, you've just got to take action. You've got the right mindset. You've got the goal you want to achieve. You've gotten rid of all the disadvantages that could pull you away from your goal. You've got some advantages to help push you towards the goal. What more do you need than to start? You've got everything you need to start, so why don't you? And I urge you, once this video is done, or even now, click off the video, and you know I'm for you if I'm saying that, because that's worse for me if you click off the video before finishing it. Click off the video. Go start. I'll survive if you click off the video. Your success won't if you just keep watching new videos. Every time one ends, you click on another one. You get stuck in that cycle. You're not going to achieve anything. So please, if not now, at the end of this video, click off of YouTube. Go and get the big task or a task that's going to push you towards this goal done. Please. So the concept that's my 6-step, oh, it was actually a 5-step process. So when I told you 6, I apologize. That was 5 steps. There you go. I'll give you a bonus step to make up for it, to make it 6. You're going to have doubts. That's okay. Anytime you have a doubt, tell yourself, this is normal. It's normal to have doubts about yourself, but these don't need to define whether I do or do not succeed. Just check yourself mentally. Maybe take a second to breathe. And just carry on about doing the good things. Never let a thought throw you off track. Every time you have a bad thought, just take a few seconds, check yourself, carry on. Bonus step makes that 6. So the concept I came up with is, I mean, it's the all or nothing mentality. I mean, I've already mentioned that before. But if you think to like David Goggins, like that level of discipline, that's the kind of idea we're going for here. If you're not going to give it your all, why give it anything? Because if you're not fully committed to a goal, then what's the point of you even trying to achieve it? Now, that doesn't mean if you're tired, don't try. Because you can still give your all, even if you're tired. Just for an example, the difference between giving your all when you're ready for a workout and when you're tired could just be you reaching failure at 12 reps when you're ready for the gym compared to reaching failure at 8 if you're tired. But in both situations, you gave it your all. And that's all you need to do. Give it your all every single time that you can. Every time there's an opportunity, everything you've got goes into achieving this goal. I suppose that's it for this one then. So if you agree, disagree, or have your own experiences that you want to share, put them in the comments. If you like this specific video, please do give it a like. I would greatly appreciate it. If you like the style of content I do, or you like me and my advice, I've got other videos, so hit subscribe because there'll be more coming out. And apart from that, I will see you in another one. Peace.